And in fact, this book is the first inside account of what happened on January 6th. And so I take the reader through the events of the 2020 election leading up to January 6th. I take them through the evidence of election fraud and voter fraud in November 2020, which the Democrats and the corporate media insist doesn't exist.
We all knew it was a lie to claim that the 2020 presidential election was somehow stolen from Donald Trump. And apparently, Trump-supporting lawmakers knew it too. Now that's according to conservative Congressman Dan Crenshaw. Welcome into TYT's Overruled. I'm your host, Adrienne Lawrence. On his podcast, Hold These Truths, Texas Congressman Dan Crenshaw admitted that behind closed doors, pro-Trump lawmakers knew and have always known that the 2020 presidential election was not stolen. Oddly enough, Crenshaw was none too pleased with his colleagues who continued to push this big lie, knowing that the messaging could lead voters to lose faith in the electoral process. Give a listen to what the former Navy SEAL had to say about it.
It was always a lie. It was always a lie. The whole thing was always a lie. And it was a lie meant to rile people up. And, I've talked about this ad nauseum. It really made me angry because I'm like, the promises you're making that you're gonna challenge the Electoral College and overturn the election, there's not even a process for you to do that. It doesn't even exist. I mean, I was like, what the hell are we doing? And I would tell that to people kind of behind closed doors too, especially a lot of the rabble rousers, like the political personalities, not even the politicians. We definitely had the arguments behind closed doors in the Republican Party before that. But so we have a lot of people in the political world that are just willing to say things they know aren't true. They know aren't true. And it's a huge manipulation. And I think the more generic threat is this extreme willingness to say the most extreme things just to grab people's attention, and then people's willingness to believe some of it. It could be election stuff. It could be, again, like I said earlier.
This doesn't seem to be the first time that Crenshaw has pushed back against his fellow lawmakers pushing the big lie. This per the Texas Tribune. Crenshaw was among a handful of Texas Republicans to vote against GOP objections to the results of the 2020 presidential election, although the objections delayed the certification of the results, culminating in the violent attack on the Capitol on January 6, 2021. The effort was always doomed to fail with a Democratic majority in the House. But we must bear in mind that Crenshaw was among the Republicans who did support a losing lawsuit challenging Trump's defeat in 2020. Crenshaw had joined 126 Republicans who signed on to the challenge that made its way all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. So really, I just kind of want to know, what was it that made Crenshaw want to speak out now? Because nothing's really seemed to change as far as I'm concerned. The GOP's pushed baseless claims of voter fraud and election fraud sans evidence from the jump. And again, I appreciate that Crenshaw finally seemed to have found the light and been vocal about it. I can't really forget that he played a role in casting some of the darkness. But those are just my thoughts. You let me know yours in the comments below. Hit that like and follow button, and thanks for watching.